Alright, so this is the T8 SP Systems EMG Noveske N4. That is a bloody mouthful. So yeah, we're going to be reviewing this today. Alright, so 3 things before we begin this review. 1, I am not a qualified gunsmith, so I may get some things wrong. I'm happy to be corrected by anyone who wants to correct me in that front. 2, I'm just a guy on the internet. And 3, I'm slightly a bit of a T8 fanboy, so take whatever I say with a pinch of salt. So I originally ordered this back in June of 2022. I was originally quoted that it would be ready in August. It was not ready in August. I was messaging Running Workshop a lot, saying, you know, where's my gun, where's the gun? But yeah, after 7 months of wait, it is finally here, and I've finally got to use it in a game and for training as well. Okay, so let's go over the externals of the gun. So starting from the stock, we've got our stock here. Stock's actually pretty well made. It does have a slight bit of wobble, which is fine. I'm pretty sure it's also an AEG stock. If you take it out the back here, you can see that there's a battery compartment at the back, which is to be expected, I mean, for the price. Also, the original grip, I took it off and replaced with a real K2 Magpul grip. The grip's fine, I just don't like the texture of it. Also, the markings on the N4 are actually really well done. Everything looks pretty decent, apart from the 4 airsoft use parts only here. You have to have it on. I know it's a requirement for any real steel licensed gun, but Ryan, you know, maybe we can get a non-version of that possibly. Also, this sticker here is quite funny. It says, so for airsoft use only, A, exactly like real, B, not real. Okay, fair enough, which is fine. It's a sticker, you can take that off. But I mean, overall, the build quality of this is fantastic. There is no movement at all in the rail. The upper and receiver do not budge at all. The inner barrel does not move at all. Everything is fucking really tight on this. Okay, so next let's talk about the magazine. So this is the Lancer style magazine. Now, if you've been on Discord, on the Tokimura Discord, you've probably seen me talking about this quite a bit. The mag quality is okay, it's fine, but the fake bullets in it just do not look good. It does have some fitment issues with some other spec guns, so I tried it with Nova, I believe my friend's one, and that was fine. With stock, there is a few problems. It just basically just gets stuck in there and you cannot get it out at all. Or unless your mag catch breaks like me and you can just rip it straight out. It doesn't lock in. But yeah, apart from that, it's fine. Yeah, no real complaints over it so far. There is some kind of wear and tear back here. You can see it's kind of starting to press in, like it's not like it's cracked, but like when you push in plastic and it gets that kind of white lines like that. But yeah, overall it's so-so. Alright, so the other problem that I've been having with this as well is the Lancer mag and the P mag as well not locking in properly to this. So I'll put the mag in and sometimes I don't put it in a certain way. I'll still tap it, right? But the mag will still come straight out. Now, it doesn't happen all the time, but right here, I can just pull it straight out. You hear that click, you think it's in, but it's not. So that's a slight mag catch problem that can probably be fixed by changing it, but it's still quite annoying. I'll put a video up on the screen of what happened to me at a game recently. I put the mag in, I still tapped it, but it still came out as well. Okay, last thing about the magazine. The way it loads is kind of weird compared to all the other T8 PMags where it's up next to the valve. This one you need to load from the bottom. So you need to push in the little button at the bottom here, push it back, and then load it from the bottom. Which is kind of weird. I was expecting it to be like this, the normal T8 PMags, but oh well. Also, I've seen from what TA or Ryan has said on the Facebook groups is that they'll not be making the mags separately, which is a shame because I've seen quite a few people comment on the post that I made that they would like to buy one, and that people would probably eat them up like they did with the PMags there. So it's a missed opportunity, I would say, because the only way you're going to get one of these Lancer mags is literally if you buy the N4 or if someone is selling one. Okay, now let's switch to the interiors of the gun. Now inside the gun, it is running the T8 trigger box and bolt set. We've all seen how that performs. It's quite good so far. It does have an adjustable trigger, which is fantastic. I love that. Even already, I've not adjusted it at all. It feels nice and snappy and crisp. It comes with the inner barrel. I'm not sure if that's pre-upgraded or not, but it is the quick detach one, as well as it has the new hop-up system as well. I'm not sure if it's entirely, I think GMP or something had one similar. Basically what it is you don't use the wheel anymore like the original Murray ones. You use a flathead screwdriver and you adjust it, which kind of makes it easier because I have very pudgy fingers, and trying to get my finger up through the mag well or even through the upper receiver to try and dial that wheel is a pain in the ass for me. So this actually makes it a lot easier. So also for the internals as well, it's completely T8, so you cannot use a different bolt with this. You need to use the T8 bolt set basically. I'm unsure if you change the trigger box and then the bolt that it will work. I've not tried it yet and I'm not planning to try it anytime soon. I'm going to run this as strictly a T8 only gun. I have heard that other people have been having issues with the bolt lock and stuff like that, but for me, this is still running absolutely perfectly. The bolt lock's still working, accuracy is very good. No major issues so far. We'll have to see how it stands the test of time, but apart from that, nothing major to report on that front. Alright, so let's do a dual test on the gun. So we're going to do it with two mags. I'm going to use the Lancer mag and the P mag as well, both are T8. We're using 12 kg green gas in this, so we're going to charge it up for, let's say, 8 seconds on each mag. Alright, so let's start with the Lancer mags first. That's 0.55, 365 FPS. That's 1.5 again, 360. 4. There we go. So that's roughly about 350 FPS on average and about 1.4 joules. The highest there was 1.5 joules as well. Now the PMAG. 1.4, 350 FPS. So again, that actually averaged a lot better. That was sitting around 350 FPS and around 1.4 joules. So the PMAG seemed to be more reliable for FPS and joules than the Lancer mag does. It seems for this one, there's a lot of gas getting let out. It starts at 1.5 joules, which is insane, and then goes down. So if you have joule limits where you are, then it's gonna be pretty difficult. You need to either buy the velocity thing, I can't remember what you call it, that, or basically get the insert for your bolt. All right, so let's go over a quick comparison between the Dytac kit here and the T8 one here. So this is my friend's Dytac Noveske N4. Already you can tell that the finish on this is a lot nicer. I mean, this is also Cerakoted as well, so it's gonna be expected to be a little nicer. It's lighter as well, actually. This one is super light. Even with all the stuff that he's got on here, this is really light compared to mine. Now, The finish on this one feels very smooth. Again, I'm pretty sure that's just because it's Cerakoted. And also this one is, it's a little bit heavier, not so much heavier, but a little bit. But it does feel snappy as well when I got it in my hand. In fact, both do. You could probably compare the two together and they'd probably be on par, but if I was going to choose one, I'm going to choose a Ditech kit for the Cerakoting. I mean, also in comparison as well, my friend has used 3 different sets of trigger boxes and bolts to finally get this thing working. And on top of that, you're having to pay for that as well, on top of the 5k that you've already spent on a kit, which is annoying. But again, this one, you're paying 3.8k and it's working already. I mean, you can't argue that the quality is going to be better on a Cerakoted Ditech kit compared to this, but for the price you're getting for this one, it's actually really good. Alright, so let's go over the price now actually. So for this gun, I'm going to count it in Hong Kong dollars, by the way, and anything that I am saying here is in Hong Kong dollars. I'll roughly translate what it is in pounds and US dollars. I paid 3,800 Hong Kong dollars of my own money. So 3,800 Hong Kong dollars is about 380 pounds or about 400 and something dollars. I can't remember in dollars. But yeah, for what you're paying for, it's a pretty decent gas blowback. You're getting everything you need with it. Okay, so that price I quoted may vary depending on websites and where you're buying it. Also, for stock of these guns, I'm not too sure how much there is. When I went there, the Uncle Fury that was there told me that they only sold 10 to Red Wolf. So if you want one, buy one quick. Alright, so I gotta put my tinfoil hat on for this next part, because I'm pretty sure that the T8 gun is just the SEMA Noveske that's going to come out. If you go to the Evike website and you download the manual there, you can see listed on parts, it's got T8 for the trigger box and the SP system for the outer. So I'm fairly sure that T8 and SEMA have teamed up, which is a bit annoying because I had no idea this was a thing when I bought my gun at the time. I guess that was just a thing after the fact. If you're going to buy the SEMA version, just be wary that it might be the T8 version, because it's still using I think the SEMA is using the T8 version, T8 trigger box and the bolt, but maybe some different externals. I mean, if you look on the box here, it literally says powered by SEMA X XP systems, so it's basically just a SEMA version. Also, it's got the big SEMA logo on the side here, so just assume it's the same. Alright, so let's talk about a couple of QC issues with the Noveske N4 here. First one is the rear takedown pin here. The Noveske logo is off-centered. Now, I did message Ryan and he said that he would replace it when his takedown pins come into Hong Kong, which is good. I like to see he's offering to fix things. Also, the grip. The grip was wobbly when it first came as well. Also, if you plan on using a bag lever, I'm not too sure. I was using a copy one, but it was basically stopping my bolt lock. When it did bolt lock, I could just literally flip the gun like that and the bolt would just go forward. So be wary if you're going to be using a bag lever or a copy one. The paint, or I should say QC issue with it. The paint is starting to basically crack away around the magwell here. Now I've only put maybe like 30, 40 mags through this so far in the past like 3 weeks of owning it, and in the front takedown pin as well. You can see when you take it down, it starts to chip away the paint here. The original TM mags you cannot use with the T8N4. Reason being is that the feed lips will basically heat up your nozzle. So if you do want to use the original mags, you need to change it to the T8 feed lips, and that's what T8 has told me themselves. I do have a friend who changed his nozzle to, I think it was a Guns Modifier or a GMP one, and he's having no problem running the stock OG mags.
Alright, so I'm adding this after filming and basically editing this review. I want to go over some pros and some cons about the T8 Noveske itself. So for pros, I would say the markings are very good for what you're getting. You have an adjustable trigger. You have a cool new hop-up design. The price is very affordable, and it's a very firm built gun. Some of the cons are like the airsoft only markings, which I find very annoying. The mag catch issue, which is kind of a very big issue from that one actually. The hop-up can't lift anything above 0.3 gram BBs. Anything after that and you're going to have trouble lifting it. Not being told that it's basically a SEMA collaboration with T8 was kind of very annoyed and basically lied to about that, I feel like. And basically the QC issues like the loose handguard and my off-center pin, as well as the paint as well.
Also, gas efficiency is a real problem.
A lot of people have actually been selling their T8 Noveskes for dirt cheap prices. So I've been seeing some on the T2 up here, which is our basically second-hand marketplace, for roughly about $2,500, which is crazy. So people are just basically selling them off dirt cheap. Some of the reasons are basically that bolt lock's not working, or their full auto doesn't work, or they just don't like the gun in general. If you live in a colder climate as well, I would not advise getting the T8N4, just because of the fact that there's a few gas efficiency issues with it. So for example, you can look back in the video and see the FPS and joules test with a Lancer mag. It starts at 1.5 and it goes all the way down to basically 1.4, and FPS as well, it drops quite a bit. There's been some other tests where it's dropped even further, for example 1.5 to 1.22 joules, and like down to like 300 FPS at the lowest. So yeah, if you live in colder climates, then basically be advised when buying it.
Despite what I will say about it online sometimes, it is a well-made gun, and it is good for the price that you're getting. Now, I'm not a Noveske sponsor. I'm not going to say buy as soon as I've used it for 2 weeks. There is some issues with it that we'll have to see how it basically tests over time. I can't say buy straight away, but I want to. I think we should probably revisit this in like a month or so, maybe a couple of months down the line, and see how it is, and then I can give basically a full overhead comparison to how it shoots, how it's performing, all that kind of stuff. Most guns that you buy out of the box are going to be working straight away. It's mostly down the line that you have problems, right? So let's see how it is in a couple of months. And yeah, thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe, and if you enjoyed and you want to see more, then yeah, please subscribe.